ended up going out to Gozo.
Yeah.
Spent a season there working out with Tom, and basically put, I guess, 4 years of experience down in a year.
Yeah.
Just for the amount of diving and with the people that you're surrounded with and the knowledge and the expertise that's available to you.
Yeah.
You know, if you sit there and open your mind, open your eyes, open your ears, then you can soak up an awful lot. And I was very, very privileged to be able to do that. So
Yeah, it's quite a phenomenal place, isn't it? I mean, I had the same experience in 2015-16. You know, you go there and everything's so chilled out and laid back, you know, which is Tom's way. And yet there's just this immense discipline around the way that they dive and the way they conduct their training and diving. You learn a lot, don't you?
you do. And I think, you know, in this business, which is full of people with, I don't like using the word huge ego, because I'm a good big ego is a positive asset. But there are a lot of quite arrogant people in this business. You know, their social media and their attitude and their outlook exceeds their ability.
Yeah.
And I think what you've got with Tom, and you know, there's a few other guys that I could mention, not just at Gozo, but what you've got with some of the guys who've really been there and done it. You know, the Phil Shorts of this world, the Martin Farrs of this world. You know, the guys like that. Their ability exceeds their attitude.
Yeah,
if you like, their ability, and you can just watch in those guys that they don't have an agenda that they need to put down somebody else's throat. But if you go in there and you listen to them and you spend time with them, you know, you just know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who are at the top of their game, and that's a privileged place to be, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I remember kind of little saying that came to my head when I was there. It was just sort of my verbal representation of what I saw was, you know, it's all talk until you get into the water. And the thing I noticed with Tom in particular was just how immensely relaxed and controlled, and, you know, every movement had a purpose. If he wanted to be still, he was still. If he wanted to move, he'd move. He was always in perfect trim. It was just immense to watch that. And as a, you know, young aspiring technical instructor to go there, well, young, I take that word back, sorry, but as an aspiring technical instructor, that's a bit funny, isn't it? But as a, excuse me, as a new aspiring technical instructor, it was just amazing to have a role model like that you could dive with, and then to dive day in, day out with him and the other people. You know, I met you there, and so it was not just the group there, but it was the people who came as well. The other instructors and the other divers were also of a really high standard. So it didn't matter where you turn, you had great role models.
Yeah, there were great people there. And I mean, you know, I think I was there 2012 for my original internship. And I've pretty much been back every year since, to teach, to you know, build time in the hours. And, you know, every time I go there, I learn every time I go there. And I think you just got to be able to take that on board. The day you close your mind to being able to learn something, you know, you really need to put your feet up and look for your slippers, you know.
Yeah, I made a few comments after my time there as well about learning through observation. And that's you know, there's a certain amount of talk that goes on there for sure, in a variety of different languages too, which was always a challenge for someone like me. You know, I speak English and then I don't always speak that well either. So it's kind of so, and there's French and German in particular at that dive center, which are, you would almost say, the primary languages, and English kind of fits in a close third behind those two. But even so, you learn a hell of a lot through observation, just watching how people prepare for dives and then how they conduct them and what they do in the water. I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, that carries you in good stead as an instructor as well, when you're watching people, you know, you take students for the first time or you're taking divers out. You know, and I mean, now that I'm sort of teaching cave and I've got guys coming on board for those sorts of environments, then the stuff that I picked up there, you know, just watching what Tom does, how he sort of positions himself when guys are prepping their gear and sorting themselves out, and how he sort of just nudges into the conversation. It's a great example.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just one, I guess one last point on that just to discuss around being an instructor and having someone like Tom as a role model. I just learned a lot from his calmness as well. You know, I see a lot of instructors get frustrated in the water with their students when they don't either do what they're told or accomplish a task correctly. And I've seen Tom frustrated in the water, but it's always gone by the time he gets to the surface, you know. So his head comes out of the water, you know, and all you see is a smile, you know, and it's just amazing how calm and controlled. And when I interviewed him, he kind of said, look, you know, there's no point getting upset at somebody. You know, you've got to give them the space, and all you're doing is putting pressure on them, when what you need to do is create an environment that they can grow in.
Yeah, and I think he sets a great example with that. And that, you know, that's not easy to do, especially when a student's, you know, perhaps done an error that's placed either their safety or the rest of the team's safety at risk.
Yes.
You know, that's pretty hard to get back to the surface and not tear them. And you know, I don't think you can always achieve that. But yeah, I always remember Tom would get back to the surface or be just walking away from the students at this point. But you know, sort of the two of us would be talking, sort of feeding back to each other on how things had gone. And Tom's phrase was always "second catastrophe." He said it was second catastrophe.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, how was that dive, Tom? Oh, catastrophe. Yeah. So you sort of you yearned for the day that you didn't get that, didn't you? So yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. When he said okay, that was enough. That was plenty.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you know, Tom's attitude in those things carries a lot of similarities to guys you see at the top of their game in other sports. You know, you know, both coaches or instructors or whatever. You know, it's that there's a lot of characteristics that are shared between those guys at the top in diving and the guys that are at the top in, you know, from my own experience in rugby, in motorsport, in you know, so rally driving, motorcycle racing. You know, there's a lot of guys right at the top of their game in those who have that same approach.
Yeah,
they're extremely confident. They're so confident to the point that a lot of people would say that they were egotistical. They've got a bit of an attitude. But actually, when you get to know them, that's what carries them in that scenario. But they don't feel the need to push that onto anybody else, so that they don't bring the arrogance to it that a lot of people can do, you know.
Yeah. And
I think that to me, that characteristic of, I think there's a paper described it as super confidence, which I thought was a great expression to use.
Yeah.
You know, you see that in people who perform highly, not just in diving, not just in other sports, but again, transfer that across to the business environment. You know, you've got guys who can do the same in the business environment. I think those characteristics, you know, good precursors for success in whatever field somebody with that approach and somebody with that attitude can choose.